under the understanding that like we had the Taliban. I know we wasted like 20 years from somebody else's war that we shouldn't have probably fucked around with their people and in their countries, right? But it is what it is. It happened just like Vietnam. It's terrible. Okay, so you guys or they had the Taliban, and my understanding that was their their form of military, not like a militia, not like an extremist group like ISIS or Hamas. They had the Taliban, right? And now whether you love them or hate them, that was their chosen group, their people, right? And so had we left them alone, who knows? Maybe democracy could have happened.
Why do you say they were chosen? Did you say they were chosen by the people?
Yeah. It was like an interesting terminology.
But yeah. How did we get to Afghanistan?
Well, who get to Afghanistan?
This conversation. We were talking about the West Bank and Captain How did we teleport to Afghanistan?
Because in the group chat, the gentleman who's probably thinking that I'm trying to say it accusatory, I'm not. I'm asking it as a legitimate question because my whole point was until all
going to create money,
and everyone in Israel.
And so now, knowing what what the purchasing power of all of these individuals is, we're going to, and we need more money because we need to facilitate trade. We need to facilitate exchanges of value. Okay, well then you just give it out in direct proportion to how much everyone has. Not a problem. No one has been adversely affected or harmed. All you've done, you've multiplied everyone's holdings by 10. It's the same as not multiplying anything, and it actually proves that the only thing you wanted to do was create additional liquidity, not value, out of nothing. That's not what happens. What happens is that the Federal Reserve or the Treasury or any of these institutions, when they create this value, they willfully and intentionally do not disseminate it co-equally as would be required if we were all equal under the law.
Why could they
assign it to individuals based on their preference, based on their relationships, based on other factors. And that is not a system that I will ever support or ever willingly be a part of. And anyone who does is a dude. He's being duped. He's a rube. He's an idiot. He's a moron. You will never have any kind of meaningful equality with your fellow man under the law if he enjoys a privileged position and access to values that you can never comprehend. I mean, they literally don't. And again, I'm saying things to clarify for you, Lou. The issue isn't how
the main military.
Well, Biden gave it back to them for some reason, and he gave them the.
Why? Did he do that?
I don't know why.
When Biden pulled out, he just pulled out without any kind of precautions.
But this is a whole different region.
Can I ask a question?
You can, but you're gonna wait. If you have to, you're gonna wait.
Okay, I'll wait.
So the Taliban were harboring.
The issue is that the United States
and the U.S. said hand them over, or your country's gonna be gone. And then we quickly wiped the country off the map. And then for whatever reason, we decided to stay there and try to institute democracy. And when we finally got the place under control for a good couple of years, and people stopped dying, Biden was like, well, now that no one's dying anymore, let's get out of there. That's what happened with the Taliban. They have nothing to do with the other areas of the Middle East. They're in Afghanistan.
Yeah, I didn't understand the Taliban. I didn't really understand the Taliban.
So your question is going to be completely incomprehensible and stupid.
No, it's going to be quite simple. I mean, it was kind of speaking to Kitty. Come on, I was trying to speak the question. Yeah. So I wanted to ask a question to Kitty because she made the analogy about the Proud Boys, right? So let's say that the Proud Boys said they wanted to kill black people. Let's say black people, right? I don't know where, but let's just say the black people.
I live in Tennessee. Go with the KKK.
It's a question. So imagine that the Proud Boys say they want to kill the black people. Should the black people kill the proud women and children?
Not just the black people, the white people, the Jews, the Christian Americans, the Muslim Americans, the Chinese Americans. Every American should link arms. And if our government is so weak that our government cannot jail them, arrest them, and put them away so that the Proud Boys could never kill another black American again, then shame on our government and shame on our military.
That's not my question. That wasn't my question. I'm saying should
murder all of them. Every Proud Boy. Yes. Well, wait a minute.
No, that's not
what
the Proud Boys. I'm talking about the Proud Women and children.
No,
Then you're comparing apples to oranges.
No, but you compared to the Taliban, like that's kind of what we're doing right now, right?
Okay, so as is, yes. What should happen is that the Proud Boys are shooting people, which are not. They were shooting black people or Chinese people from behind their women and children. That gives them full immunity. They can kill who they want. Also, if they use a hospital, full immunity, they can do whatever they want.
A daycare, a child's elementary school. Yeah.
Yeah, they get full immunity. That's how it works. That's how wars
See,
work.
the thing is,
Start a war, and then
That's why history is being a thick bunch of books.
not only that, if it's a military base and you write school on it, then it's like base. You can't touch it. That's how wars work.
you have to understand a bit of dynamics of what's happening in Israel. Israel is not fighting the idea that somebody wants to kill them. They're fighting actually somebody wanting to kill them, like actually actively.
Right, but are they capable of killing them? Like, are they capable of killing them?
I don't know how many people that died in
They just killed 1,200. They killed
No,
1,200.
they didn't just kill them. They didn't just kill them. There's a bit disingenuous. There's a lot
You're
that
right.
happened.
They raped and killed them and kidnapped them. You're right.
There's a lot that happened in between now and then. There's
Well,
been
they
a lot of
raped,
killing.
kidnapped, and killed them. You're right. They didn't just kill them. I
Yeah.
apologize.
Yeah, they didn't just kill them. It's been a year and a half. There's been a lot of time in between that where killing has happened since. And it wasn't them doing
Yeah,
the
they
killing.
killed the mother and 2 babies.
Right.
You're right.
Yeah.
There's been a lot more killing.
so badly, like dislodged from him.
I think how many rockets have been thrown at Israel in the past year and a half or so? Like,
How many people have died though? How many people have died in Israel? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It does matter.
Yeah, that's the other thing, guys, is you wait until people die, and then the dead ones will, the ghosts will take revenge. Because you don't like preemptively stop it and try to
Wait, why would that matter? Wait, why would that matter?
Yeah, because it's cognitive dissonance that matters there.
No, but please don't keep Aziz down. I just like, really want to
Still
understand.
kick him down. I asked him to come up.
So, Brody, you asked me why would it matter, right?
Yeah.
Because I believe your reaction should be relative to the actual threat you're facing. So if now I know someone's going to chime in and back up.
I agree.
Right. So if now I feel a threat from my neighbor, right, I have to bear in mind. I understand the threat of October 7th, that's a tragedy, but in my opinion, that was a failure by the Israelis.
Wait, did anyone?
I did not kick him. Okay, that's
Somebody muted me.
Yeah, well, I agree with you, but it's like it's a relative threat to you not doing any. Wait, that's fine. But I think it's a relative threat of you not doing anything. Right?
So,
Right,
so
well,
let me ask you this way.
Not a relative. Wait, not a relative threat to what you have currently, but what you a relative threat to you not doing anything. Now, it is a good thing that. Wait. Do you understand why, or do you want me to explain? By the way.
What do you mean by that? What do you mean by not doing anything? Like, again, you have security for a reason.
Yeah, right.
It was a failure.
Right.
The Israelis.
Yeah, no problem. I will explain. I will explain. So, for example, and by the way, like the threat is not only on human life, like different threats, including economical threats. But let's just suppose, like, actually not suppose. Let's just take an example of Hamas firing like thousands of rockets into Israel. And let's suppose Israel doesn't have any, alarm system. They don't have any shelters. They don't have any like Iron Dome and so on and so forth. Right? The death count will be much higher. And I think this is the thing that you should respond to, not with the fact we have shelters and Iron Dome and like alarm systems and so on and so forth. But then they like. Destroy a lot of property, but they don't kill anyone.
But let me give you an
Or
analogy.
hopefully they kill one or two.
Let me give you an analogy. So it's kind of like
No. Before the analogy, did you understand what I said? Like because you're like trying to move to something. Right, exactly. So I think you should. Yeah. So I think you should respond with that, proportionate to what would happen had you done nothing, not what proportionate to you having all of those security measures in the first place.
But let me give you an analogy. So it's kind of like, imagine I own a club, right? And I take everyone's ID, get in the club, we have security at the door, and generally speaking, most of the time, the doormen are good at their job. Like fights happen, obviously that's life.
You know what? This is too much of an analogy. I think it's too tortured. Let me break it down for you really simple. Hang on a second, Aziz. I want to break it down for you. See if you got any questions. Pick up a gun. Pick up a gun, and we're gonna take it from you. Is that really clear? Is that crystal? What does that mean? Pick up a gun. You get this? Are you following? Don't
What does that mean?
worry
I
about
don't
the
want to pick
analogy.
up a gun. I don't want to.
If you don't pick up a gun, you got no problem.
I don't want to pick up.
I actually disagree with Norm. I think if you pick up a gun, you should. Yeah, I think if you pick up a gun, you should be prepared to die. Not to just someone. Sorry.
I think that's the story.
Right, but then,
Yeah.
does that work the other way? Like if somebody else.
No, it does not work the other way. The answer is no.
Right. No. How does it work the other way? Is that what you're saying?
It does not work the other way.
Okay, so you just have like a. So you're talking about.
Wait, Aziz, hang on. Hang on.
Okay, that makes sense.
Hang on. Stop asking questions and listen.
That makes sense.
You getting so far, Aziz? Are you getting so far?
Yeah,
You
I
get
get
it?
it
You
now.
pick up a. Hang on. I want to. Don't
I get
stop
it.
talking. Keep listening. Because you're not listening, so you're never getting it. Pick up a gun, and we're gonna take it away, or you might die. Now, do you get it?
That sounds a bit.
Okay. Now,
I don't know. It's a bit. Cause
Is that-
is that applicable?
Is it
Is
too
that
mean?
like a? Is that across the board?
Just to be clear.
no, we're
It's
talking
a bit of
about
a
the
dumb.
terrorists.
It's a bit silly.
No, it's not silly. That's the deal.
Because what if
You might
what if
not,
you pick
not
up a
like the
gun?
deal.
What if you have a gun?
About Trump?
Hi, Diogenes. This is Alan. Please put me in the queue.
Yeah, Alan. Yeah. Why don't we go to Alan? Alan's got his hand up. Oh, I wanted to apologize to you, Alan. I wanted to apologize to you because the last time we spoke, I lost my temper. I got carried away. I got emotional. And I didn't take advantage of the opportunity you were presenting me to more fully flesh out the point that I was making. So I apologize. I behaved poorly.
You don't have to apologize to me. I mean, the one is always watching. So just be wary of the presence because, it's listening.
Aw.
Who minded Abby?
Hey, Alan, you had your hand up. You had a question or you had a comment or is there something you'd like to say?
Yes.
What's up?
Yes. Last time we spoke, you used a terminology, a phrase. Starts with an S and ends with an L. And I'm just wondering, are you a neo-Nazi? And why is Abby in love with a neo-Nazi?
Oh my God. Am I a neo-Nazi? Well, you've got to come at me correctly. The National Socialist Workers Party was a tremendously important movement. To call myself a neo-Nazi, though, I couldn't do it. Nazi is a pejorative term. You know that?
I thought it was an acronym for National Socialist Workers Party.
No, it's pejorative. You call them National Socialists.
Now it's a pejorative.
You left your bed. We've been waiting to ask you for so long. So yeah.
I don't consider myself a neo-Nazi. No.
But you're a white supremacist.
I'm not a white
There's nothing wrong with
supremacist.
So why would you?
I'm not even a white
It's
supremacist.
not, but there's nothing wrong if you
So
want.
why would
Yeah, I
you
don't
say?
think
Why
There's
would you
nothing
say?
wrong with any individual, every single individual ought to be encouraged. Look, I have children, so it's easy for me to understand this. I'd argue it was always easy to understand, but every individual organism must constantly strive to survive and to exist in a hostile environment. And we're often aided in the beginning by our parents. Some of us don't even have the aid of our parents fully behind us, but we ought to always understand and believe in our unique supremacy. That is the first.
I feel like it's triggered. And it's because of the germ flood. You want me to take it down for you so you can feel more comfortable, Ellen?
It's not me who has to answer to the maker. It's you and your neo-Nazi boyfriend.
You don't have to be jealous now.
Boyfriend.
See, Keegan found a girlfriend called Rick. Diego
Called
Diego
Rick.
found one
It's
called
just
Laura.
what you're saying is it's just LOVE then.
Yeah.
found one called Simple.
But what what about Adrian Dittman, aka Elon Musk, and the manufacturers? Do you think that Nick Fuentes and Elon Musk are neo-Nazis?
No.
More like neo-faggots.
I mean, first of all, Alan, didn't you hear me?
You're projecting, Bunny.
It is insulting. It is insulting to anyone who actually believes in the ideals and the real ideals behind National Socialism to assign any kind of parallel in Elon Musk and Nick Fuentes. Nick Fuentes is more aligned with National Socialism than Elon Musk, but I mean, let's not pretend Elon Musk is any concern for National Socialism. I mean, you must not understand National Socialism to think that has anything to do with him. That's insane.
How does National Socialism differ from our Congress and the Federal Reserve?
I'm glad that you asked. Really, the fundamental idea that motivates National Socialism is the understanding that the most important thing is your family, your people, and your nation, and that we don't exist independent like liberal democracies advocate. We never exist in isolation. It is a selfish and inappropriate attitude to have, and it is disgustingly disrespectful to your family and to your nation to have such an attitude. That ultimately, we owe our life to our fathers and our mothers and to our nation, to our soil and our blood. And that we must always be knowledgeable about that and work as much as we can to create a culture and a society that elevates and respects that fact in everything that we do. Liberal democracy, on the other hand, manifested in Western parliamentary and congressional iterations, regardless, all of them collectively found themselves in this idea that the individual is the supreme authority and is superior to everything else, and that the most important thing is the self, completely defying the natural order. And in all things that we do, and this is a National Socialist idea. If you read Hitler's second book, it's called Hitler's Second Book. It was never published, it was never popular, but it was actually written by him, much more than the Mein Kampf that's regularly attributed to him. He lays out very clearly what ought to be an axiom of all governments, and that is that the government, the hierarchical, the structures that we as men make must always, in every way, mirror nature as much as it is possible. And in so much as they deviate, so greater is their fragility, weakness, and ultimately the injustice that they produce.
You should really write a book, but too bad people don't read books anymore. So.
Yeah, people claim to be neo-Nazis. Neo-Nazis don't understand National Socialism. They don't understand the teachings of National Socialism. All they want to do is they want to fight back. They want to claim the same right that they see others claiming to identify themselves and to take pride in their existence as a white man, as a white woman. And that's something that is denied to the majority of white people in every single culture in the world. They're required.
See, when I hear somebody say white people, I just think of a black person saying black people, and then we get into the language and the communication aspect, and to me, it all falls apart when people start saying white people, black people.
I have no idea what you're suggesting by pointing out.
I'm saying that the Spirit of God transcends racial identity politics.
We're not talking about the existence of God. We're not talking about the existence of God. And who do you think it was that made us different races in the first place? Who established our ethnic identities, if not God?
I don't think God actually established racial identities.
So, we can argue about that. Neither of us could prove this either way. But what we do know is that whatever created us, if we were created, certainly established a tremendous amount of biological diversity. And I think that our forebears, our ancient forebears, in the telling of the story of the Tower of Babel, recognize that there seems to be a natural force that appreciates a differentiation.
Well,
I mean, you sound like a transsexual right now.
Well, actually, I mean, I don't like trans people, but I think I know philosophically what they're doing. But I don't think trans people know what they're doing philosophically, because it's like the pawn on the chessboard making it to the other side of, the battle zone, and they become a queen. That metaphor in chess is associated with the Holy Spirit.
Okay, well, I answered your question, so.
I know, but I'm just saying, I think your argument falls apart in the face of, God and religion.
What argument are you talking about?
That racial identity politics transcends the Holy Spirit politic.
I didn't make that argument. I did not make that argument. Yeah, I didn't make that argument in any way, shape, or form.
I know you didn't make that argument, but you were implying.
I will kick you.
Kick me, I don't care. Free me. I gotta go to the gym anyways, fatty.
Very good.
I love my donkey, boy. What are we talking about?
Oh, you like donkeys. Okay, you're one of those guys. You're a typical Okay.
Hi, Phoenix Flyer. This is Lao Tzu. Don't listen to Honey or Romero. They are unrepentant atheists.
Oh, Baruch Hashem,
Rebbeinu Shalom. See you this time next year in Yerushalayim, Yashachoah. So, in conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, I am a Mohammed sexual dedicated to licking the balls of Allah and his ass crack.
Shut the fuck up. You're Adam, the fucking dude from Lonely
Allahu Akbar.
Once I was at a Palestinian rally, there was a guy who said, "Take beer," and all of a sudden, all the Israelis on the other side, they actually hold a mug of a beer, and like, "Don't mind if I do," and they even started laughing too, man. That was pretty hilarious.
Takbir!
Don't mind if I do.
Takbir!
Don't mind if I do.
Allahu Akbar!
I prefer a snack bar.
So wait a minute, Phoenix Flyer, do you think all these free Palestinian anti-genocide people, they're just like robot boxes repeating sounds? Takbir!
I think there is a sinister goal happening. There's an alliance going on between the far left and Islamists.
Takbir! From your ears, from your lips to Muhammad's ears, and Allahu Akbar's anus.
Yeah. Hey, you want to read something funny? Muhammad did some gay shit. You want to see that?
No, I don't want to know about gay shit. I got shit to do, like a J-O-B, D-O-G.
But no, next time you see a Muhammad, you can tell him, hey, Muhammad did some gay shit. Here's proof.
No, I'm not going to waste my time. I just want my pizza. I want it cooked perfectly. And I don't want to waste my time.
What do you do for a living?
Put some pork in there.
I'm a professional clubhouse troll. I'm getting paid by Mark Benioff to keep the app alive.
And people dead. I blame you.
What are you still doing here on this app? I thought you got a life.
No, I possess the soulless.
No, Johnny. Johnny, you've got to get yourself an education and a wife and a career, Johnny.
Bizrat Hashem. Yoved al ze.
Bizrat Hashem.
Baruch Hu.
Evrit. They wanted to speak Hebrew. I said, you must learn how to speak Evrit.
Yo, I'm half a Gentile, so 9.
You're a half? Can anybody really be a half of anything?
I mean, if you cut them in half, they truly can.
But you're not cut in half, are you?
Well, my dick is.
You filleted your schmeckle. Why don't we get Roivas and Honey Badger up here? Because those are the real interesting people to talk to, because they get angry about everything.
See, you fucking destiny. You shaliach.
Shliach. I'm a Makugala.
With curly hair and a Brazilian butler.
So I want to thank the Phoenix Flyer for putting together this impromptu little soiree. I'm creating a new room. It's called Angry People on Clown House. I hope you'll participate in my PhD psychological research project.
Have you ever seen a Phoenix, Mr. Phoenix Flyer?
I have seen the Phoenix, generally about 1 o'clock every day. Oh.
The only craziest animal I've seen was a huge ass owl.
Do you know what the OWL acronym stands for? OWL?
Just a giant owl. I once met a chick that was fucking fugazi. She's crazy. She was like, yo.
Fugazi crazy chicks.
I ordered the Phoenix with her. I had no clue what she was on. Fucking.
She was on that fentanyl.
Psychotic.
So Roivas, can you help participate in my psychological research experiment on anger management? Okay, we'll check in after you get back from Walmart.
Bro, sounds like that weird demonic cartoon.
Can Honey Badger please? Uh-oh, Evora wants me to talk privately. She doesn't want to be in a recorded space. I often get this from angry people, passive-aggressive people that want to waste my time. What's the deal with fat women wanting to talk to me on this app? I mean, go to the gym and read a book. Like, our little private one-on-ones isn't going to help. You're going to have to go to the gym, fatties. There's just no way around that fact.
Maybe she just wants to sing.
I'm just saying, so when Roivas says he's out doing errands, that doesn't mean going to the gym and lifting weights and doing cardio is one of his errands, I assure you.
Well, bro, if she was Adele, would you tell her to go work out?
Doesn't matter. Everybody's got to work out, fatty. See, you're already making excuses, fatty.
No, if she was Adele, bro, she can fucking be my fucking... What is it called?
Your ass?
No, she could be freaking bed of the bed for me, bro. I don't give a shit.
I know you don't give a shit. You're a low IQ little rat.
No.
Johnny, you're one of the most irascible, highly retarded people on this app. I don't even know how you manage to feed yourself.
You talking to me?
Yeah, I'm talking to you.
Nigerian. I forgot the topic.
Hello?
Yes, sir. Excuse me.
Sobek Neferu, how are you, darling?
Fuck you, bitch.
Why did you say that? Oh, she left. Oh, she's a Mohammedan. She was triggered by the title. Phoenix Flyer, you are upsetting and attracting these Muslimas to the room. Elia, Phoenix?
Yeah.
No, I'm talking to Phoenix in the audience. Can we bring Phoenix up, please? He's my friend. We're going to bring Honey Badger up because he is so irascible. He wastes all his time triggering Mohammedans.
Well, my room is not like, you don't have to put your hands up right now, so anybody can come up and talk.
So what you're saying is they're being passive aggressive.
I guess so.
They might be a Muhammad sexual.
I'm sexual. Hey.
Is this technically a new gender of Islam?
Yeah. Maybe we should present it to queers in Palestine. Now, hey, did you know there's such a thing as a homosexual? Like, really? It's like, yeah. Please do educate us, O Messenger of Allah.
So the girl that messaged me who wanted to do the private one-on-one, she wrote, "How did you know I'm fat? Do you know me?" So what I'm trying to say is, Johnny here's a fat body, and that's why he's on this app being a low IQ retard all the time. He's fat.
Ultra combo.
Johnny, can you post a PTR of yourself so we can confirm that you're fat, please? Again, this is all scientific research.
Speaking to do that is no PTR of himself.
Thank you very little, fatty. Confirmed.
Hey, you know how they say that in Arabic, like, John was translated to, like, for example, in Arabic it's called Yahya, and like Paul is Doulos, and all that sort of stuff, so it kind of sounds the same. Guess what Fatima was actually translated to?
Fatty.
Fat is your mama. Fatima, fat is your mama.
Well, that IDF Special Forces, not your mama, they really tore up some P-word ass.
You do a good your mama joke?
Look out, No Thing is here.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that.
What's up, No Thing?
I mean, even back to my original point, man. Yeah, look, this so-called, like you say, civilized world, man. They really love.
I hate to interrupt you, my friendly N-word, but can you please kick Rajra Rada out of the room, please? He is a so. It's so lame.
Answer to peace. Do that and you got peace.
So the answer to peace is
Put the
pick
guns
up a
down.
gun.
No, put down the guns. Put down the guns.
No, but
The
you
answer,
pick up the
see,
gun.
you're still not getting
Is
it.
another thing I'm writing down.
This is why I think the English is bad. Put down the gun. Now you get it?
But you just said pick up the gun. I need to, let's make it abundantly clear.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you know. Which language do you speak, Aziz?
Quite a few, to be fair.
Okay, well, give me an example.
Loads of them.
To be fair. Huh? Give an example. Throw one out. How about Spanish?
Contrary to popular belief, I have extensive vocabulary. I'm quite an eloquent.
I don't know anything about you.
Right.
No belief about you.
Evidently.
Do you like Spanish? You speak a few. Do you like Spanish?
Love it, Norm.
Do you like Spanish?
Norm,
Do you
come on.
speak Spanish?
You're better than this, Norm. Come on.
No, I'm actually better than you.
If anyone is offended by what I've had to say today, I apologize.
So don't change the subject, Aziz.
No, I just want to apologize if I offended anybody today. That was.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Apologies.
You don't have to mute me.
You don't have to. No. So here's what you do. Put down the gun. How's that?
Right.
Good.
Okay. I agree with that. I agree with put down the gun. That's that's kind of why I'm trying to say.
Now you have peace. Now you have peace and prosperity. How
right. So we need to look at the people with the guns, right?
No. I'm talking to you, Aziz.
Okay.
Talking to you. You get it now?
I don't have a gun, Norm.
Well, then you have peace. Then what's your complaint now?
Well, I feel peaceful. I'm a peaceful person. I have peace. Unfortunately,
So
not everyone has
saying,
peace. That's
so now that you
that's
see
not- that's
how
the issue
what I
I'm
said
having.
works, doesn't it? It works. You don't have a
Yeah,
gun
yeah.
and you have peace.
Yeah, but you don't have a gun. You don't seem very peaceful. You don't have a gun. You don't seem very peaceful.
Well, I don't have a gun, so we
Right,
have
but you're not a very peaceful man.
Well, I feel very peaceful.
Well, it's not about how you feel. I don't feel peaceful around you. I feel like on edge.
I'll get you.
I feel like you're quite vindictive, man. Do you need a
plushie? What do they call them in Britain?
No. I live in an area with a high crime rate. I think I'll be fine. I'm just saying you don't
I'll
seem
get
to
you
be
a
a peaceful
plushie.
man.
No, I'll get
Is that a high?
You're feeling weird.
Is that a high crime rate from the Pakistani Muslim rape gangs?
Yeah. They just everyone's just getting raped out here, man.
Oh wait, are you actually a member of that Paki group? Are you a member of that Paki rape gang group?
Yeah.
I figured you were.
Yeah,
I figured, yeah.
We get the new.
We just figured you out. Everyone, right?
Jeremy, we're changing the subject.
Yeah, man.
We're changing the
Okay, I'm gonna decondition you, Yusuf.
Okay, so you got
I'm gonna help you even more.
Spanish and Hebrew. You said you speak a few languages. That should cover it.
Yeah.
So what's the next question? You don't have a gun and I don't have a gun, and now we have peace.
Right, but you're not very peaceful, Norm. You don't.
No, I'm very peaceful. You mean you don't like? Well, listen.
Because
you don't have to.
Are you in danger, Norm? Are you in danger, Norm?
No. Are you?
No, neither am I. Right, so why are you so hostile?
I'm not hostile.
Why are you so hostile?
I'm not hostile, bro. I'm not hostile. I'm from New York, bro.
You're a hostile individual. You are.
What? No, I'm not, bro. No,
I haven't cut you off. You cut me off numerous times.
I'll give you a Kleenex. I'm gonna knit you a sweater with a big V. I'm gonna knit you a sweater with a great big V on it for victim.
What scares you the most, Norm? Be honest.
Will you feel better?
Tell me, what are you afraid of, Norm?
I'm not afraid of anything. I'm afraid of being bored. I'm afraid of being bored. Yeah? Well, that's the difference between you and me.
Well, the irony of you boring people. The irony of you boring people is just blowing my mind.
Well, I'm not afraid of irony. But I am afraid of stupid people.
I can tell, no, I can tell.
Yeah. So, are we done with the convo? Have you finished? Okay, good job. I think we've learned a lot today, haven't we?
I think everybody got the
message. We learned a lot. I think we did. Put down the guns. So easy. We can solve the problem of world peace. Yeah, it's a simple thing. So now we can move on to sports. Let's talk about sports now, since we've solved the problem of war. We just created peace in the world. You and me.
Can you please mute Aziz?
I think you managed that yourself, Norm.
Thank you. Well, I know. I'm giving you credit too, because we don't want hard credit.
You deserve all the credit, Norm. You know.
No, you get some credit too.
No,
you were there for it. You showed up. Sometimes all you gotta do is show up.
Biggest dickest?
You don't have to.
This is my.
I can hit you.
My final.
I can hit you. What?
You know, you want, just do your thing, Norm, you know.
I do my thing. We all do our, you do your thing and I do my thing, right?
Just be braver next time, you know.
Sí, yo hablo español, señor.
Just be braver next time, Norm.
Braver than what?
I don't know, just braver.
Aziz, I have a question. On a serious note, Aziz. Aziz, do you think it's possible that you're holding Israel to a different standard than you hold the rest of the world? Is that possible? No, please, Norm. I asked Aziz. Let Aziz tell us if you're answering, if you think that you're holding Israel to a higher standard than the rest of the world.
I'll be completely honest, right? So I'll be completely honest. I've been critical of my own.
By the way, you should always be completely honest. I want to recommend that.
Well, not everybody is, so I just want to put that as a...
Well, I mean, that's my recommendation. I've tried to be, but go ahead.
I respect.
I don't think.
Well, you asked me if I...
Aziz, to be honest with you, if the situation was reversed, I don't even think you would, hold the beat by saying that absolutely they should have attacked.
Let's ask him if he's holding Israel to a different standard. That's what I'd like to hear. Because
Okay, tell me if I'm wrong, Aziz, because I know your answer. Your answer is yes. I would also hold my own country to that specific standard, right?
I promise you, I would not wave the flag of my nation. I promise you. May God kill me today if I'm okay. I would not wave the flag of
That's fine. That's
if it was at the expense of I knew it. And I knew it.
I understand. This is why.
If I'm lying, may God kill me.
Are you this passionate about any of the other conflicts in the Middle East, or is this your specialty?
Help me understand why
I'm a naive pacifist, you know.
So you go into rooms with Syrian people and you rile up people. There's much bigger casualties in other conflicts, but do you bring this energy when you interact with Somali people and Syrian and Turkish?
I've shamed my
Aziz, please just mute your mic, Aziz. You're saying nothing important. Just mute yourself, please, and use your ears, Aziz. You use your lips a lot. Can you use your ears twice as much, please? Please mute up, Aziz. Mute now. Hit the mute button. Turn your mic off. That's right. Passive aggressive now. Mute it. Mute it. Mute it. Mute it. Come on, Aziz. Do it. Do it. Mute it. Mute it. Mute it.
Chill. So, what would be the problem? Like, why do you think it is immoral for Israel to attack, a strategic military target that happen to have also some civilians, or uninvolved civilians?
Sounded like he was against the use of all weaponry.
No, I don't think that's the case. But like, Aziz, why do you think that's before that?
No, I think what you were referring to is to some degree is justified, especially if what you're attacking is like weapon.
Use your eloquence, Aziz.
Sorry. No, please. Don't interrupt me. Go ahead.
So yeah, Roddy, what you're referring to, to some in most instances, I imagine that's justified. You're attacking military capabilities, right? Right. I think
Military attacking military.
So. Sorry. Oh my God. So yeah, let me just do something really quickly. As a war, you can own.
They couldn't take it.
Are we abandoning Andrew now?
Want to finish now?
Sorry, Andrew. Fuck you. It's like 11 a.m., Andrew. Wake the fuck up. Is he asleep?
He's been taking a lot of L's lately, Albedo. I think it's like some going on.
Honey Badger's here. Hi, Honey Badger.
He's about to get ditched by his homies on the streets.
We're in Andrew's room. You know that Christian guy who sits in his car for 7 days a week, 3 days, 3 years working no job, talking about the good news of the Lord Jesus Christ, but doesn't work a fucking job. Oh yeah, this is the El Normo podcast movie. I've been producing the El Normo show and recording him and putting it in his own house. It can't go unrecorded. It's just too valuable. I have to silo it, categorize it, monetize El Normo. He's pure gold, Honey Badger.
What happened in Andrew's room? What were you saying?
Nothing. I was saying Andrew is the most pathetic Christian you've ever met in your life.
That's funny, dude.
You would think if you know the good news of the gospel and you're so learned, you'd actually maybe do something with your life instead of sitting in a fucking clubhouse room and then going to sleep during the daytime because you're up till 6 a.m. whispering to people on Clown House. There's a lot.
That's pretty wild. The next time I'm on his stage, I'm gonna ask him if he spends more time reading the Bible or talking to people on Clubhouse.
Oh, he's definitely. I mean, you know the answer to that one. Don't ask him any questions that you know. Just make fun of him. You know,
totally.
don't. Yeah. Just say you need a job. How long have you been talking about Jesus but not working? Like, what's wrong with you? Are you on disability? Did you know he also got punched out at a party because he was flirting with some guy who wasn't gay?
Wait, what?
Yeah, he has a traumatic brain injury because he almost got murdered at a party because he decided to flirt with some guy who wasn't receptive to his advances. So he decided to pummel him. Because I listened to these people. He told a story about how he almost got murdered at a party for flirting with a guy.
Are you serious?
I'm not making... Dude, I'm not sitting here in my mom's basement in my underpants smoking weed, drinking Miller High Life with orange juice, making up lies, okay? I ain't got time to sit here and make up lies. I'm here repeating shit that I heard these people say. You know,
Wait,
I mean,
he said this in a room.
yeah, go in his
Wait,
room.
So he's gay and he says he is.
He didn't say he's gay. He just said he was talking with a guy who thought he was making advances and decided to beat the living shit. Like, see, it could have been innocent. I don't know if it was he was trying to be gay or he got his ass beat for being gay or he was just being nice and he got attacked. You know, I don't know the situation for real.
Oh man, that's fucked up. Either way.
But that's what he said is wrong with him. You know, like look at his sleepy eye, you know, in his Honda Civic. Like he's got TBI. Why do you think he does what he does? Like, would you sit here and listen to the same shit over and over again for years? No, you'd have to have a TBI. You got to have a TBI to do these things.
Interesting. I never heard that. That's crazy.
Hi, Michaela. Welcome to the El Normo podcast and movie in the El Normo house. Is there anything you'd like to relay to my producer and CEO, Dr. Normo? No, just here for the giggles? I understand. So, Honey Badger, we were saying, you know, you're an atheist. I mean, do you think that you're an intellectual?
No.
So what makes you think that God isn't real?
I just have no good reasons to think it is.
You don't have any reasons?
I have more reasons to think it's not. How's that?
But what, like one more?
Yeah, like 7 maybe. 7 or 8.
7 or 8 sentences? Holy shit.
7 or 8 more reasons, yeah.
Wow. Okay, so tell me, what's the difference between a noun and God?
Nouns exist.
Really? Have you ever felt a noun? Touched it, tasted, kissed it?
Yeah, I have.
You didn't. You didn't. You thought you did, but you didn't. Because there's no such thing as a noun.
Experience, dude. My experiences are real, you know.
Really? How do you know?
I don't know for sure. I'm agnostic about that. Aren't you agnostic about your experiences being real?
Well, see, this is the thing about the all now, is that, you know, the belief is that the now is all important. And so in many ways, your memories are so powerful, it makes you think that there's this thing called the PAST. But in truth, the only thing that really exists is the NOW. And if you realize that, yeah, if you realize that, it can be a little terrifying because you're basically memories. So if you realize that you are not your memories, but you are constantly generating your memories, it can be, I think it can trip you up a little bit. It can make you trippy.
This is why consciousness is this fucking eternally complex fucking concept, dude. For sure, I agree with you.
Yeah, yeah. What do you think about compression in the now? Because technically in the now,
compression?
I mean that the eternal now is technically a highly complex compression beyond belief, like beyond, you know, expression, beyond words.
You mean like the way we just described? That's the compression?
Yeah, part of
it.
The
past is gone. The future isn't real. It's all compressed into now. That's the compression.
Right.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy, dude. I have no fucking clue, man. It's crazy shit.
But so I mean, if you're an atheist, though, I don't understand how you can't also take the opposite position instantaneously, because you realize that the denial of God is also the affirmation of God. You know, esoterically, at the end.
Yeah, but I acknowledge I'm an animal with a brain, and brains are fucking fucked up shit, dude. So why would I posit an extra brain out? You know what I mean? It's just
because there's nothing quite like a human brain. Because of.
Right.
I mean, listen. You know what the easiest way. You know what okay, so basically, I have a secret book. That I discovered. And you can also buy this secret book. It's not the Bible. Do you know what the best representation of compression is right now in a book? Like, what's the best book in terms of understanding the now?
Be Here Now.
No.
By Ram Dass.
No. A yearbook from the 1920s, 30s, 40s. And do you know why? Like a yearbook from any high school, any college.
How come? Why?
Because all those people are dead. And that book was binded by people who are dead. The pictures are clear, the words are unequivocal, and they're all gone. So that means you and I are also going to basically turn into yearbooks. And people in the future, hypothetically, will look back and just say, wow, look at that picture. Look at those words. Look at that book. So what I'm trying to say is get yourself an old yearbook and you'll constantly be reminded that your time is hyper limited. So if you come on this app and you sit here and get angry, you must be retarded. You must be stupid. You must not have real understanding. If you don't use this app as a way to try to get people to understand that they're immature and irascible and basically just here for drugs because it's a dopamine feedback loop, I mean, that's really all it is. Yeah.
Oh, I admit that. I tell people, I go, I'm here for the God fight. I'm addicted to this shit, and I'm willing to just tell you that.
But you have to understand that you are. It's no different than the people you're making fun of.
Totally. Oh, yeah. No, I don't think we're that much different at all. We're all. That's why I try to make common ground too. I'll say, like, when they ask me, well, how do you have morals and shit? I go, dude, just like you, motherfucker. How do you separate yourself? You know.
But don't you see that you're also like A, part of the problem, but B, doing the same game they're doing, but just in reverse?
In a way, but I just admit that I'm here for the chess game.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I'm not here to get you to believe that gods don't exist. I'm mostly here to get you to say stupid shit.
See, I don't think it's technically a chess game or some type of a debate game. I mean, I record everything I do to try to, like, in some weird way, organize it all, you know, at least in the internet ether or my brain. But what I'm saying is trying to antagonize people and make them very angry is like the next level of the game because it's beyond words. What you're just trying to do is make people very angry to prove to them that A, they're not in control of their emotions and their emotions are in control of them, and B, that like if what they're espousing is the truth, there would be no rational reason to ever get angry with somebody trying to gaslight you. So
Oh, totally. Yeah, no, I mean I agree with. Yeah, I think I get what you're saying. I agree with you.
Like, if you're a true believer, you would never get angry at somebody insulting your faith or insulting your ideas. Because if you were so certain about what you believed in, you would feel compassion and pity on the person trying to gaslight you.
Exactly. That's exactly right, dude.
Yeah, it has to be all or nothing. You can't come on this app and get angry. If you truly are all or nothing, you don't get angry. You just moderate. You just kick to the goo. You become a communist. You put them in the gulag. So I don't know. That's why that's why I think I like what you do. I mean, I like what I do. I just love really antagonizing people here. To me, it's the greatest joy. It's the highest dopamine. It's the greatest virtue.
I'm fine with saying that I get my dopamine hits by having people that claim to know things about the universe that I don't. And well, okay, the frame is that this is the only type of subject matter that you can literally just come in and justifiably say the shit that I do, because these people are making positive claims of knowledge about how the universe operates.
Yeah, but I don't think you're being cruel enough. I think you should really yeah. I think you should up your game. I mean, it sounds to me like you could be See, you have to look at this as like 1300 in London, and it's the Protestant or the Anglican versus the Catholics. Okay, this is an interesting observation that I have had in this app. When you actually witness before you two people arguing who are both your enemies, it's not often you actually see differentiated enemies arguing with each other. But I have experienced that on this app where it's so delightful to see two people who oppose you and hate you arguing with each other to the death. And that to me is like extreme delight when you can see your enemies tear themselves up and you don't even have to do anything. Like that is real joy. I don't know how to describe that. I know maybe it's
that's the easiest thing to do is get these motherfuckers fighting amongst themselves, for sure.
Yeah. I don't know. This app is amazing because it's like you're actually talking to somebody in the flesh, but they can't punch you in the nose. So they have to deal with the fact that somebody is like chronically antagonizing them. And it's to me, it's not even like they don't know my hidden message. They don't know at the end of my troll is enlightenment. And so everyone's actually very close to the truth. So I think the best analog is Groundhog Day with Bill Murray, because he goes through the whole movie constantly depressed, angry, and pissed. And then only through the love of a good woman at the very end does he finally stop the infinite time loop and he gets out of purgatory. I know it's all just hypothetical in words, but yeah, the whole point of enlightenment is it's like total fearlessness. You don't fear money, you don't fear love, you don't fear jobs, you don't fear governments, you don't fear politics, you don't fear religion. There's no fear in the game anymore. There's no anger generated from the insanity of the simulation. And for example, like there's so many blocks that are coming your way, and you literally like I get angry all the time. But I'm also like, I know that my anger is not like other people's anger. For example, I was at the gym. There's a Hispanic guy with a metal bar swinging it around by a door that I'm trying to go through. And I'm thinking to myself, what is this dumb motherfucker standing in front of a door and swinging a fucking metal pole? Like, could you pick a more strategic spot? Maybe like in the studio that I'm trying to go to where there's nobody standing. Why are you blocking a door? I didn't see. The thing is, if I would have said that to him, it would have caused him to also get angry. And so the secret is silence. You don't say anything to anyone. You just walk around the motherfucker. He's looking at you. So what I'm trying to say is through language, we generate emotional feelings and anger. And the people on this app are so insane and low IQ and stupid that they are exhausting themselves and ruining their lives by completely wasting any other potential. So the opportunity cost to engage with these people, unless you're recording it and trying to create a show, like you're also stroking your own, non-existent ego by playing the game with them. And
totally. Yeah. Because if you're worried about, or not worried about, but conscious of vibrational states and your own well-being, you're going to just be, like you're saying, like if you're grateful in the moment of compression, right? Then of course you're going to avoid that conflict because you're doing it for your own fucking reasons, right? Why not? Why not just avoid that conflict?
See, all conflicts can be avoided through silence, because the moment you start speaking negatively and angrily, that is like, the diminution of your positive vibration, and then you transmit a negative vibration. It is like particle physics or quantum mechanics, but you are the prima causa in the compressed now. So any moment you experience a potential emotional flare-up, by basically you create other people's emotional flare-ups by creating your own emotional flare-up. So it's like saying, if you believe you are a flower and you're always carrying flowers with you, there's no reason for anyone that you meet not to also reciprocate the flower bearer. It's a little bit like, it's like hacking reality by changing your own mentality. people, it's almost like they absorb what what you're putting out. So, or they become what you have become, because it's like reverse engineering a future conflict. If that makes any sense.
No, I agree with a lot of what you're saying. I think where it gets complicated is that the physical world is real, and we care about our, harming ourselves or others, and we all experience physical pain. So like, shit's real in a real sense. I don't know. It's confusing. Like I said, I'm always tripping out on consciousness and what's going on in this fucking wild shit, dude.
Well, what about Romero? Like, why are you two so similar?
Romero?
Yeah.
How are we similar?
I don't know. You guys strike me as being very similar.
Probably because we're both living in Northern California.
Oh, you mean you're like pseudo-intellectual white trash?
Yeah, probably.
I met these crazy girls in LA one time from Northern California. They were total hippies. The girl I was with was like a total free spirit hippie. She was awesome. Gosh. So anyways, it's been a pleasure chatting with you. And I mean, did you always understand my troll or my comedy? Did it take you a while to like understand what I'm getting at?
Well, you're more well versed and more well read and like politically savvy, so a lot of the undertones I'm not even catching probably, but I do get it overall. Yeah, fuck yeah.
Yeah. Well, I encourage you to give the real good news, which is always that the now is all important. And that, if you believe, you have eternal life. Because there is like a politic to this, in the sense that even in politics, you see the absurdity. So you have no choice but to be a conservative. Or at least pose as the devil's advocate or the contrarian to just about everything you encounter in the real world, because you realize that what everybody's putting out is like a vibrational hypnosis, and it's generally self-serving in politics. So like, if you can't get people to admit that what they're doing is a scam, you at least have to propose that in the public to degrade their bullshit compression. Because if people present abstract concepts and analogs continuously and they don't get called out on it, like, that's what I'm here for. Is I'm here to call out abstract concepts that we are taking as literal constantly and chronically as we communicate to each other.
What do you think is going to happen with this shit in the White House? What do you think is going to happen?
You mean you think Donald Trump is shit?
I think he's not a real decision maker. I believe obviously there's other shit going on, just like always, nothing new. But the whole billionaire thing is new in a sense of it's right in front of us and it's being played out as if like it hasn't been happening all along. And I find it interesting. What the fuck's going on?
Yeah, but that's like saying what the master of the universe is cooking.
No. I claim ignorance. I say I don't know what the fuck's going on. I don't think anyone really does.
Yeah, well, that's the truth. No one knows what's truly happening. No one knows who's actually compromised, because I think a lot of this deals with people being compromised. Whether it's like real compromisation, meaning that like they've actually gotten you to engage in nefarious activity and therefore you can't get out. So like one time my dad told me, he's like, whatever you do, don't take their money. He's like, once you take their money, they got you. And like, it's hard to think about that, because like, you don't really know what that feels like until you actually take the money. Like, imagine being Senator Menendez with, $500,000 in your closet in a shoebox, or $3 million in cash. You know what I'm saying? Like, people really do take bribes, to say things, to do things. So, I don't know if that's really happening with Donald Trump, or he's just like that gregarious. and he's his own independent billionaire, you know, but it's possible he's being blackmailed. But that couldn't just be him. It would be like anybody who's there is blackmailed. It would be Hillary. It would be Kamala. Like Kamala's probably quadruple blackmailed. Like some people are double binded, some people are triple binded. Some crazy people are quadruple binded. It's like saying somebody's two-faced, three-faced, four-faced, 5, 10-faced. Like, you know, a true mercurial person is 10-faced. Like they will shift their opinions on changing conditions dynamically. So that's the real truth. Is, you know, the president becomes Mr. Mercurial. Like it is Dr. Mercurial. You are hyperdynamic in that position, and Trump is highly compressed and hyper conditioned, and he has hyper conditioned the world. His podcast is the biggest podcast in the world. So it's top down communication. And, you know, this app is owned by a billionaire, X is owned by a billionaire. All the major forms of communication exchange are owned and controlled by billionaires. So.
Yep. Oh, yeah. Fuck yeah, it has. Talk about compression, dude.
But they're going to die too. That's the thing about looking at the yearbook from the 20s and 30s. You realize that your opportunity to be honest, to live a good life, to be transparent, to be radically dynamic as well. You know, it's very limited. Your opportunity to experience that is very limited. So you have to be very smart about how you communicate. That's essentially what it comes down to. It always comes down to communication. It's as valuable as the material world valuable objects. You know.
Oh, entirely. That's the whole thing. I mean, information streams and storytelling is what humans do, right? So it's just a matter of that. Like you were saying, the compression and the emanation of the hypnosis is true. It's like, fuck, dude. It's fucking crazy, man. This shit's wild.
Yeah. All communication is hypnosis. So, like Elon Musk last night, he had an X space, but it was for subscribers only. So I couldn't actually record what he was talking about because I don't want to pay the money. I should have paid the money, but anyways.
I told you I saw you featured on, God, who was it? It was on Kalinsky. Yeah, it was on, what's his name?
Kyle Kuklinski. Kyle Kuklinski?
Kyle Kalinsky, yeah. And he featured your tweet or your X that Elon responded to.
I don't think it was mine.
No, it said Adrian Dittman, dude.
No. Elon is Adrian Dittman on X. I have Adrian Dittman with 1 T and 1 N. He has Adrian Dittman with 2 T's and 2 N's.
Oh, maybe that's what it was.
But I've been recording him, and so all of his spaces are on unrecorded. So I've been recording him, and the stuff he says is just unbelievable. Like he says his superpower is his giant dick where he stores his autism. And like this is after getting off a call immediately with Joni Ernst and Mike Lee and Vivek Ramaswamy. So he's very immature. Like he's got a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde type of psychology. And, you know, if you're a really smart billionaire, you actually don't do anything anymore. All you're doing is management, and you are placating and aggrandizing highly skilled people and controlling them. So it's, you know, every billionaire in many ways, they stop becoming the original developer that they were, that took them out of, you know, their mediocrity. And then they basically became business and politically strategic, because most of the money that's generated as profits comes from the Federal Reserve and Congress. So we're like living in a horrible economy because nothing is authentic, because all profit is essentially generated out of Congress and the Federal Reserve. So that's the biggest game, is new money creation, acquisition. That's where billionaires just sit there and eat.
Have you ever seen or read the guy who did Confessions of an Economic Hitman?
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Yeah, I wondered what you thought about that, and if like how much of that you were aware of or understand or concur with or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know the book, so I can't like cite what he's talking about. If he's talking about what I just mentioned,
Yeah. Well, yeah. It starts with the Federal Reserve, basically, and like, it's an older movie too. I mean, not old. It's like maybe 15 years old or something like that. And if you watch it, just check it out, man. And then it goes into like all of the ways that we go into foreign governments and install people or cause internal strife and just get people in debt over there and have them owe us shit. And it's fucking gnarly, dude.
yeah, it's hard. It's so hard to like play the moral game, virtue game, and or ethical game, like because people in other countries that have their own sovereignty are also doing like terrible things globally. So the world is so
Oh
huge.
yeah, I don't think we're the only villains by any means. I think that's why the whole thing is just such a clusterfuck because I don't know shit. So, what am I gonna do? Read books for the next 10 years straight and then understand something as it's evolving in real time?
But as an American, your primal core, your center of being has to be the Constitution and the philosophy of the founders of your central perimeter. So that's why I'm very pro Trump because so many people hate him and think he's the worst human who's ever lived. He's a Nazi, he's a criminal, and all this stupid shit. So it's like I have to play contrarian to your position because if you believe that everything is God or all is God, who the fuck are you to say that guy through his will, it isn't his responsibility for taking that position? All his communication. It's like, why? Well, fuck you. Like you are a nothing ant compared to what this man has achieved. So, show some knowledge and understanding of God. Because if there is such a thing as like simulation theory or predestination, and it is generated by a maker or creator, and then somebody's going to waste your time with their negative speech about Orange Man bad, it's like, okay, well, I will vehemently attack you and then move on. But I'm attacking you with kindness and compassion, hoping that you realize that your biggest dilemma is the fact that you're engaging in word hypnosis and you're unaware of the fact that what you're saying in many ways is the opposite of a simulation theory or a God theory, creator maker theory. So people will say, why did we elect him? I think it's because the Democrats or the Republicans have an unincorporated black shadow. And it's like, okay, well then the Democrats have to have the equal and corresponding black shadow. There's like no other way around that. If you say one side has this, the other side also has to have the same or the opposite. So.
Yeah, I would tend to agree.
So it's like the negation of all division. And it's like a transcendental state. It is like a TM state or a way of thinking or looking at a problem. The problem is that most problems can be solved with imaginary buttons. And we are unwilling and we refuse to essentially use imaginary buttons in this reality. Like imagine going to Mars and setting up 15 colonies by using a magic button. But it is like Caligula conquering the beach and bringing back seashells. You see what I'm saying? Like our problem really is not space travel and Mars and all that nonsense lies and bullshit propaganda about getting more money from the Federal Reserve and Congress for Elon Musk and for investors. Like those are lies. Like we have to conquer ourselves and create new systems of communication to essentially in my opinion be very patriotic and nationalistic, because until we can control our own situation here on the ground in the United States, how can we expect to ever play the game long term? Like we are essentially degrading and crippling ourselves by doing international regime change operations and space exploration. And it's just not building us homes. It's not keeping us healthy. It's not filling our bank accounts with savings. It's not taking the population and the country out of debt. We're essentially totally debt impoverished in this nation beyond belief. So I don't know. To me, those would be the practical things to do over the next 10 years, which is essentially re-educate the population, secure the population, and enrich the population. So,
what do you think is the most pressing environmental concern?
well, every day when the sun is shining, I look up into the sky and I see planes doing aerosol runs out in the distance, and I'm like, they have to be military planes, or because those are not commercial aircraft, And I mean, are they actually doing atmospheric engineering? Like, what the fuck? I mean, they have to be. It's the same things as taking Zavs by Big Pharma. Like, they are reconstituting our environment and our bodies with chemicals. And that would, to me, would be the biggest environmental concern is what are we being mandated by big pharma and government to put into our bodies, and what is big government and big chemical corporations doing to our atmosphere? I mean, China has more coal plants than all other countries combined. They don't give a fuck about aerosol. I mean, I guess these coal plants are better than ever before, but anyways, China is a massive. China has to be the biggest threat to global pollution, distribution. So that's the thing is I don't know.
India, China, just because they have the infrastructure already.
No, just Google it. Like Google number of coal plants. You'll see that China has like.
Oh, right. Just actively working and putting stuff into the atmosphere for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, on whole, like, have you ever been to Los Angeles and like looked out into the Pacific?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a fucking line of pollution. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So.
Yeah, and oil right offshore, freaking. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, that shit's bad. I mean, but see the oil, people don't know it, but like do you go surfing?
I don't surf, but
have you ever surfed?
Go on.
The point is,
I've surfed and I like the ocean and I body surf, but I don't live by the ocean right now, so.
Well, I'm just saying that once you surf, you realize that there's a lot of oil in the ocean underneath, because like when you get out, you have oil splotches on you, and you're like, holy fuck, like I got stained with oil. And so there's just so much energy out there. It's unbelievable. I don't make money in the gas industry, but I know people that are super rich from energy, and a lot of money in energy, man. It's unbelievable. I mean, just the infrastructure stuff alone, not even the wholesale and retail distribution of energy products, but the infrastructure shit is huge. Managing it, building it.
Oh, hell yeah. No, for sure. I mean, that's what we do. It's everything. Like, how do we even have any conversations at all, It's like, something's got to fuel this shit, so how do we do it,
Yeah, the electrical generation stuff is crazy. Like, to think that from Benjamin Franklin, now, like, every major city has a massive nuclear power plant creating unlimited electrical energy, which is also very expensive. If we could do energy liberation in this country, and essentially, if the government really wanted to help people save their bills, and they're going to spend all this money on rebuilding Gaza, rebuilding Ukraine, which is going to be it's going to be the biggest Marshall Plan ever. We are so fucked in this country. You know what we should do is we should buy the major utility corporations that generate our electricity and completely end the electrical bill and the gas bill, like immediately. Like literally the government would take over our energy production and just buy the corporations and essentially eliminate invoicing. Like you have to keep running the power plant, but you can no longer bill customers. It would liberate Americans. It would save everybody, $500 a month instantaneously in the wintertime.
What about healthcare?
healthcare. I think we have to have. I think we have to turn Medicare, Medicaid into the American Gymnasium agency, and we have to build, 3,000 high quality workout facilities across this country and give people free access to gymnasiums, because the fact that we have to pay $20 to $300 a month to go work out, and there's no federal option, but yet there's plenty of federal options to go work with doctors that make huge salaries. It's like, you don't have a health problem, fat ass. You have a I've never worked out, I'm a fat ass problem. Sorry, fat ass.
Yeah, I mean, even just like, so I think it's interesting thinking about the sleep, right? Like how valuable and what a fucking game changer slash secret sauce sleep itself is, and all of this tech and all of this stress and all the communication shit and the vibration and hypnosis is keeping us from quality sleep. So it's like this super circular fucking thing we're running on, dude. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I've been the job that I've had for the past 4 or 5 years. The over communication that they send to the employees prevents them from even doing their work. The DEI, the diversity training, the 2-hour seminar on pronouns, like all the nonsense that they filled my head with, and then they said, if you don't get the ZAB, you're fired. And if you don't vote Kamala, you're a piece of shit. So it's like, okay, the organization I work with is a piece of shit. And, I just said no. Like, I literally just stopped going to work, and I said, I'm going to sue you. And I haven't talked with my boss in 10 months. So, she called me a whore at work. And there's so much information you have to read to follow the instructions to do these projects that no one could ever read it. So you have to do a lot of compression. But the problem is people can't even compress information. And B, there's so much other, exterior information being pushed on you that you can't actually do the work. But anyways, I'm sure that is what many organizations are like, where, because we live in this clubhouse world where we act as if like we're working at some corporation or something. And this is like, the coffee or the water cooler chit chat. But, in the real world, people are doing clubhouse conversations at work, I suppose, but probably not. Maybe over years you develop relationships where you can, because this app, another category on this app is gossip. People love gossiping on this app, and I like it, and I feel like all good media, TMZ, etc., all the scandal rags, they're essentially just gossip publishing. So in many ways, people on this app become gossip publishers, and it's definitely probably even more evident in the black rooms. So.
Yeah, it's wild. I'm surprised that, like, what I've learned on here is it's just kind of opened my eyes to literally how bad of reasoning is occurring amongst a lot of people, and how popular that is, because the rooms like this, like, look, there's 5 people in here right now. Earlier there's 2 or 3. I could see some stupid fucking room title about some dumb book from 2,000 years ago, and there's like 300 people in there.
Yeah. The other aspect I like about this is that you are if you talk to a lot of people on here and you develop relationships, you do create like a neural net of people that so to speak, don't even know their faces, but yet like you have them stored in your mind, and and in your memory, if there's gossip, you're like connecting the dots and all these people. But then if you meet somebody in the real world that is like working a job or having a career or a business, like, and they're not doing this communication, they're doing that in the real world with their patients, with their employees. So it's like the people on here are the most pathetic of all people, because there's no financial network tied to their network here. So it's truly the biggest loser app in the world. I mean, I record everything and put it on multiple platforms because I can't see any other reason to be here unless you're actually creating content, or nobody's watching what I'm doing. But imagine if I actually had an audience, like even people who are listening start forming networks about what I'm recording. and how people interact and who hangs out with who and what people say and what people think. So like the audience from a third viewer position is also doing what I'm doing, or intrigued about who these people are that I'm talking to. So I get that question a lot from people. And if I meet them in the real world, they say, who the fuck are you actually talking to in all these videos that you create? I'm like, it's called Clubhouse, you know? So, or
Yeah,
X.
you're talking to avatars. You're talking to a real person behind a facade, and
yeah, you talk to NPCs. You know.
yeah, but they're all real people. I mean, the thing is, that's why I just look at it like a general. Like, there's probably 20 people on Clubhouse that I would actually like think I could actually interrelate with in real life, and I've actually met one person from Clubhouse in my hometown because his daughter was graduating from college here, and great guy, and we're friends, right, in a way, and he actually is from my local hometown area and lives kind of by my brother. So that's real, right? But everyone else, it's like, okay, what kind of relationships are these? But it's mostly like a learning experience for me, I think. I'm just kind of like gleaning information about humanity, you know?
Looking at the chat. See, the thing is, fundamentalists should not get angry. Like, ever. You know?
True.
But if they're getting angry, I just don't think they understand what it is they're really talking about. They're not fundamentalist enough, meaning that they haven't read far enough to essentially realize there's no reason to read any further. It's all definitive. There's no, I don't know. There's two reverse engineers always happening to get to the compression moment now. But I don't know. The big thing is anger. When I hear, just go to any room and you are going to hear anger erupt. It's just so fucking chronic. And it makes living life in the real world exhausting. You know, like I've worked with people that, you know, get very angry, and it's like, I'm the source of that anger. But the truth is, I'm trying to show them that their position is untenable. Every position is untenable because of the fact that we are all sentenced to death. So we just don't know when the executioner is coming for you, but it's coming. And if you really, in many ways, if you focus on death, you always get back to the eternal now, which tells you, go to the gym, fatty, go be productive, create something, make something. So, I mean, that's why I like what I do by doing these debates and recording it, because I'm always creating now, you know, and creating records. But other people here are not creating records, so I just feel bad for them. I'm just like, I'll have to make fun of you to try to wake you up, to try to show you that what you're doing is insane. Like Andrew, like could you imagine if that fucking guy had a YouTube channel and he recorded everything he ever did? He'd probably have like a couple 100,000 followers by now, because he put so much time into it. And he is so focused on it, but he's not creating any product. So I think there's like a marketing aspect and a commercialization aspect on here that people just do not have. And
is there a way to, like, see, I used to joke about people like Andrew and that guy 10, that guy from like Jamaica,
yeah,
who claims to be a Christian, but he's also a
anti-flat earther. These are podcast people. Like they're on here so much. I mean, I've been recording them forever. Like, why don't you do it? Like, get a burner phone and just record these people's rooms and put them on YouTube. Like, no one is going to produce their show. They're never going to do it.
I always joke about them being paid by Clubhouse to say this shit, like they're actually paid. I wish I could get paid by Clubhouse, right? I don't know how to monetize whatever I'm doing, so I'm just as much of an idiot as they are, I guess, you know?
Well, I mean, you know, I try to get people to do this, and they call it bootlegging Clubhouse, and I do it, but the audience is very limited. Like, no one really cares about what people here are talking about. But the high emotional states, if you capture that, people at their worst, like, that's good content. You know, people on YouTube will watch that, because if your dopamine is getting flared by listening to them, people on YouTube also get dopamine flared. So it's creating clips, really 15-second clips of the worst behavior on this app and putting it on YouTube. I would encourage you to follow my recipe and formula for business communication success, Honey Badger.
Okay, I'm gonna try. Maybe I'll try a little harder. Because it's either, for me, it's like I'm kind of getting like, all right, refocus, get back to what you used to do before Clubhouse became a reality in your life, or go all in and try to make this shit fucking money, dude.
Well, click my link above. It's adriandittman.com. Check out my work. Like that is, I've spent a lot of time on it the past 24 hours. I've actually curated my most viewed videos on my YouTube account, and then I've put up a ton of Elon Musk videos. You know, and people hate me on this app because I have recorded them being, you know, stupid and put them on YouTube, so they hate me. But it's all to try to, I think they know that they're full of shit, and they laugh about it when they see somebody has clipped them and put them on YouTube. But some people are probably very upset, but I don't think they'd ever get physically violent with me. And the fact of the matter is, if somebody doesn't like what I did, I'm a very public person. You can just ask me one-on-one, you know, can you delete what you put on YouTube? And I'd be like, sure. Okay, I'm not going to live the rest of my life, you know, having a beef with somebody. It's deleted. I'm not going to get angry about it. But if they cause me to get very angry, well, then I might become like the Zen master playing a Zen game saying, okay, well, now I'm not going to delete it. What are you going to do about it now? And then you really challenge somebody to deal with their anger. Because that's what a Zen... Do you know anything about Zen philosophy?
You know, I would say yes, but I don't, to be honest.
Zen is just another word for now. Don't you get it? All three-letter words are essentially N-O-W. Whether it's a D-O-G, a C-A-T, an A-N-T, a B-E-E, they all deal with now. Those animals don't live their life exchanging abstract concepts through words. They just do and go. So that's what we are trying to achieve through Zen philosophy, or through God awareness, God now type concept, joy now. Stop being angry. Be like Phil Connor. You know, you have to be like Phil Connor from Groundhog Day. Why do you think Bill Murray is so beloved? You know, because he's a chill dude. And why do you go to that room, go to that chillism room right now, and you tell me, are these people living in the chill? No.
Fuck no.
They're so far from, it's the exact opposite of chillism. Everyone is constantly screaming and getting angry. That black girl who runs it with Nathan, and then Lion is the epitome of somebody who you should try to be as soft and as supple and as loving and as caring and as joyful as possible. He is so, see, the thing is, it's all about the way people sound, you know? Have you ever, like, been with somebody, you know, or known somebody that you just can't stand their high pitch, you know, very obnoxious way of speaking? Like, it could be like a Russian. Yeah. After a while, you're just like, I really dislike the way you sound. But the worst thing is he's the combination of bad sound with horrible, toxic phraseology, ideology, communication.
Which one, Nathan or Lion?
Lion. He is the worst. Nathan is also highly retarded, but he's at least a pleasant, you know, person. That's the big thing. It's like identifying the worst. Do you know resistance on this app?
I don't think so.
Oh boy.
Resistance?
Basically, if you are an African American male and you are not repugnant and completely vulgar, in many ways, you're just not political. Because if you are with the system and you are well balanced and you are respectful, see, this is, you know, you don't know me, maybe, I don't know if you know anything about me, but like I've served in the military and went to a military college. So for, you know, for many, many years, I was highly conditioned with military protocol and communication. Standing at attention, saluting, requesting permission, only having 3 responses, yes, no, and no excuse. So like I know how to shut the fuck up and understand authority or chain of command, but there are times where you jump chain of command and you communicate your... See, the whole thing is in Zen, you can't explain your way out of a problem. Like right now, I'm basically bankrupt and I'm being held captive by a lawyer downtown who just seizes my checking accounts. So I have to go to another lawyer or try to file the Chapter 13 myself or Chapter 7. But like, this has caused me a major roadblock in my life. But by reading books, you come to the realization that like, if I try to write letters and try to explain it, it will never solve anything. The only thing that really solves anything, it's not words. More words isn't going to solve our problem. It's not going to solve your problem. So I don't know. I mean, I'm just here to create content, but you know, when I say I'm here to create content, I mean categorically or through categorization, but also literally contentment, peace, equilibrium, equanimity, you know, through higher knowledge and understanding. But, you know, who am I? I'm just a schmuck in the L Normal podcast.
I think it's hilarious that you call it that, dude. That's so fucking funny. Does he ever show up?
He does, and he loves it. He says, you know, people say they don't like you, but I like you now, and I'm actually, you know, honored that you're doing this, you know, because I'm not portraying him in a negative light. I'm trying to essentially just produce his show because he's not going to do it. And like, I think he's worthy because he spent so much time here doing this Palestinian debate and it's consumed him. So like, you know, for some, because you can capture all of this and just put it on YouTube. And so, and I'm doing that. Like, click the link above and look at my work. You will see I have a YouTube account with 4,700 videos. Almost all of that is Clubhouse. So I have invested a tremendous amount of time recording this app. But I'm just one man. I mean, there are hundreds of rooms every day that should be recorded. Like, if I had the money, I would actually pay people minimum wage to sit here and listen to these rooms and record the rooms, clip it and podcast it and put it on YouTube. Like that's the thing that this app doesn't do. Like there's no export feature. It's a closed marketplace. So replatforming platforms and even recording people's live streams, like you know, people on YouTube, they go live like celebrities and then they turn their live off and it's gone forever. But if you were to record that, you have a very unique video that no one else has. And even the person who created it doesn't even have it anymore. So that to me is a big opportunity in the future is curating and storing people's unrecorded live streams, much to their dismay. Because a lot of these celebrities want the dopamine feedback, but they don't want the repercussions of compression in the future. So to me, it's like, it's so much fun. It's like, I don't want to work a normal job. I would rather play this game all the time because it is push button surprise. It's so hyper dynamic. Like nothing in the real world can offer you essentially what, in a way, Clubhouse and YouTube and Instagram and TikTok and Facebook, all these platforms are offering you a big opportunity to bootleg it. It's fun. And look at Carletta down there. Carletta, you know, I'm often very cruel with Carletta. I mean, the fact that this fucking guy calls himself Carletta, you know, and he's got this like dirty ass old hair. Like clean yourself up, man. You're here all the time talking like you got brain damage, like you're in the 8th grade still talking about God or something and atheism. I don't know. I think you have a kid. I think you said you have a daughter, so maybe you're like an actual real man and a human and a good person, and I'm like a real mean person. But maybe it's all just because I was in the military and I really like talking shit to people to find out just how emotionally unstable they are. Maybe I'm bringing boot camp back to Clubhouse.
Fascinating shit, huh? All of this, man. That's why, however long ago it was, that's what I was saying. It's like I'm getting a slice of humanity on here, man, and it's fucking wild.
Yeah. You know, I feel like I'm a mean person. I can be very mean, but like all my philosophical study just constantly shows that you have to be, if you really want to be successful in this life and even productive, you have to be nice to people and you have to be nice to yourself. And like that really means being very kind, but also like, you know, I feel like, so I asked this Jason Calacanis, I don't know if you know who he is, at Jason on X. He's a, you know, very wealthy guy. I said to him, it was a Q&A. I was like, so who were you before you were born? He said, I was a ninja. And I hated that response. I don't know why I hated it, but now I really understand it, because if you want to be really slick, if you want to be really quick, if you want success, you do have to operate like a ninja, but it's still just ultra compression. It's always being in the now, taking care of business. So I don't know. Those are basically my thoughts on the El Normo podcast. I hope El Normo listens to this, and I hope he finds a lot of value in it. Because technically, Honey Badger, this is like a hypnosis. This is my morning, lunchtime nasal hypnosis about nothing, really. See, that isn't it amazing? We can talk essentially about nothing, and then at the end of it all, we're like, wow, we were so smart. We said so many interesting things. And no one will ever really listen to this.
Right. Hey, is Normo actually a filmmaker or something?
Dude, the guy's very wealthy. He's got a house in the Hamptons. He's had, he's worked in show business for a lot of years. He's very, very, very close to he's not a celebrity, but he's like the Larry David of the East Coast. Let's just put it that way. And so, this is my attempt at producing, essentially Curb Your Enthusiasm. I mean, that title is kind of even hard to understand, like enthusiasm, meaning that tone it down. Don't get so excited. There's nothing here to see. But the truth is, the El Normo show is like the show, People tune into it. People love hearing him have these debates. And I feel like I've influenced him, and I've gotten him to actually tone down his anger. And so he plays like a cat with a ball, now. He's just like a cat man. And I hope you become more like a cat man. But I hope you record people here.
What do you mean, more like a cat man? What do you mean?
Like, be gentle, Don't be a dog and break its neck and rip it around. Like, play with it gently, like a cat plays with like a ball of yarn, just touching it.
Well, that's why I use my animal references in my names. I mean, I've been a sun jaguar, I've been sea wolf, and now I'm honey badger.
Well, you should come to my room. It's called the Honey Badger. It's in the Earth Moon House with Lao Tzu. I've been recording this room as well. Not only have I killed one bird with one stone, I have killed now 2 birds with 1 stone, and I've produced the Honey Badger show. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Honey Badger. Do you see it in the hallway?
No, what? Say it again? Wait, what? What am I doing? What am I looking for here? Let's see.
Can you like share this room as a podcast? Like, put it on your X, put it on your Facebook, put it on your Instagram story, and say, hey, I filmed a podcast today. It's called the Honey Badger Show and Podcast Movie. And then share this conversation, because we just had a very in-depth conversation about communication, about mental health, anger management, politics, economics, finance. Like, we talked about everything under the sun in the past hour, FYI.
No, sure. But see, I'm not on X. I don't even open my Facebook anymore. I have an Instagram, but it's private because I'm not trying to commodify anything there or sell anything or advertise my services of any means for any reason. It's just all private shit. It's like a little scrapbook. This is the most online I am, is on Clubhouse.
Wow, you're just like Andrew. Did you happen to talk to a guy at a party one time and get your head mercilessly beat in with a fist for talking? No, holy shit. Anyways, next time you talk to Andrew, I beg of thee, say, hey, is it true that you got beat up at a party and got a TBI from having your head bashed in by some guy that you were talking to?
Oh shit.
Do you know he's gonna look away and smile and be like, motherfucker, it's that fucking guy. It's that fucking guy.
How long ago did he mention that?
Maybe 6 months ago.
Oh, well then that's fine then. I'll just bring it up. Yeah, he goads me and tries to misrepresent. It's all for the Andrew Povich show, right? He's either Andrew Povich or a pastor, right? I mean, I can't remember which one it is.
That's true. Those are essentially, see, those are at the opposite end of the spectrum, where you do have the Maury Povich. Um, what was the other guy's name? He was huge.
Oh my god,
Cincinnati mayor. He's dead now, right?
the guy with the glasses.
Anyways.
That's weird. I can't remember his name.
Yeah.
Another guy, same thing, but not like
Oh, Jerry
same
Springer.
vibe.
Jerry Springer.
Jerry Springer.
Jesus, what a name. He's kind of like, Jerry Seinfeld. I just love people that have big runs in entertainment. They're very dynamic, smart people. You got to admit, like they know how to bring together chaos and make it funny.
Well, have you ever seen like a more legit and serious approach to this shit that's on BBC called The Big Questions with Nikki?
What is it on?
It's on BBC. It's a British televised thing that they have like panelists. They'll have an audience of maybe 100, and they'll get religious, politics, all this shit going. And Nikki is the host, and he's great, man. He's really good at this shit.
It's a little bit like facilitating therapy. Do you know who Jay Breska is on this app, The Pimp?
Who?
Jay Breska.
Ah.
Catch a con. See, I think your circles are limited on here. Why don't you go through my profile and just add a bunch of people? Because there's it's not even going to be on this profile anymore because they blocked me. But I've been recording this guy for a while because he runs his room like an AA meeting. He's the only mod unless he's going to leave. And he says, come on up, show us what you got. What do you want to say? Okay, this, that, it's a show. But he facilitates it well because it's time efficient. So I don't know. Why don't you create more rooms and manage the rooms, record your sessions in these atheist debates and really organize it all?
I started God Talk Supreme Deluxe, and then I got banned. Or whatever that is, canceled, and then I had to restart. So all these followers and stuff are all new again. I had twice as much before.
Do you know Mark on here?
Which one?
The
MARC?
MARK. Yeah, maybe MARC. He did he had the picture of the wizard or whatever up for a while on his PTR. But anyways, he holds these theist debate rooms. Sometimes you'll go in, there's nobody there. He's like, it's like fishing. You cast a net and you see what you draw out. So it's spider webbing. You have to create something to catch. So I would just but again, I would record what you're doing because to have the same conversation over and over again is really pointless. Nobody wants to see the same show every time. So, create categories of debate, but really zone in. I mean, even maybe use just Google search and do some research about theosophical or religious debate, and then create buckets and stick to those buckets, and then create new ones. But I don't know. I would get very organized in what you're doing. Do you know who Nate is? He does Ask a Christian in the morning.
Dude, I cannot stand that motherfucker.
So I told him the other day, I was like, in the military, after you conduct an operation, you do what's called an AAR, After Action Ready Review, and you essentially do commentary on the whole operation and then do a reverse analysis of the operation to see if it pairs up with your pre-operation reverse analysis. So what I told, and then immediately this guy came to his defense. He's like, in his defense, I have to say Nate, and I'm like, listen, I know that's your opinion, but again, you're just Canadian, I mean, it's just ways to anyways, the other thing is you don't know what people are really like on the back end of this app. You don't know if they have health problems. You don't know if they're on disability. You don't know anything about that person. And you take it as if you're debating somebody, A, who's intelligent, but B, also doesn't have serious health problems, that they're living with. And so as like a debater, they're really, it's not like it's not face to face. So it's not like the audience can judge the physical health of the debater. So that is a big aspect. But anyways, the thing about Nate is he hosts, people come in and ask him a question, but I told him, I was like, how can you optimize what you're doing? It has to be organization. Like you can't come on every morning and have the same, if you don't create a record, you're not tracking what you're doing on this app. If you're going to really be into this app, you should track some analytics and some keyword data about what you're doing on this fucking thing. So from like a post action analysis, nobody's doing that. People just keep coming in and just drawing from the well, but they're not doing any analysis on what they're actually doing. So I would encourage you to take that extra step to like actually track what you're organizing on this app in terms of like what you're curating.
How do you mean so though? Like, what do you mean track it? Like with an app and get some like analytics going, or
No, I think you just need to do research and then create a spreadsheet and like start from there. Like do some research on categories and then create a spreadsheet and then like take a calendar and just track the activities and the communication or the subject titles. Like people aren't putting any of this into a spreadsheet to see any kind of analytics on all that's being generated from all these conversations. Like the Jewish debate rooms is the biggest dance, as such, because it deals with dancing basically. So it's like I think people should spend more time if they're creating, professionally, doing analytics on what they're doing. I mean, I look, YouTube auto generates analytics for you now. It's not really very useful, but at least it's an infographic that you can screenshot. So, I mean, I take screenshots of people's profiles here. I take screenshots of rooms. I post the rooms to YouTube. That was a big thing. Originally, people were so angry with me because I was screenshotting rooms and posting the screenshots to my ex, and people didn't want their faces. People are like Native Americans. They hate it when somebody captures your essence. And then it turns out that your essence doesn't have such a great aura.
That's really funny how you just said that, dude. So, okay. So why would they be upset?
People think they're special, and they're fucking not.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, I will admit, though, that I think I'm also somebody who thinks he's special, and I'm not. See, the whole thing is humility. I know that I've been humbled, I'm on one knee, but at least I'm still on one knee. But I'm not on both knees yet. Welcome, Danny, to the El Normo Show podcast.
I should be in, not this one, but I just wanted to say that
Why do you believe that?
I think that everyone is the most special person in the world, and also not special because everyone is the most special person in the world. So it's like you're both.
Wow, thank you. You are also special.
Yeah, so you are at the same time the most special and also the least special.
I hope you have a good end.
So everyone is the most special.
Okay, but Danny, what do you think about the now? What do you think about the all-important now?
It's hard to think about the now.
But you are in the now. There's no alternative. When you realize that, the all is all important, but the all is the now. All three-letter words are essentially connected to now.
Now is one. One is now.
Mm-hmm.
I will win.
This deals with minimization and maximization, or
I will
yin
be
and
so
yang.
small and so big and not so fat without Ozempic. I do not need Ozempic to be not so fat. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. If you live your life taking a pen and sticking it in your body, like, I don't know. I mean, have you ever been to the grocery store and seen a horribly obese person with like 15 sodas in their shopping cart? And you're just like, like, is that person is still in the now? Like, the ultra diabetic obese person eating all that food is still technically in the now. But I guess the thing really does deal with like brain chemistry and brain science and dopamine. Um, but so boredom is often considered like the biggest problem in, you could say, like human relations, or like relations even with self. So this app, to me, it is actually a very good, healthy alternative to doing other, alternatives in terms of like eliminating boredom. But again, I think you just have to really master what you're doing on this app in the same way that you would master doing any other project or creation or development. So I've been having a conversation with Honey Badger here for an hour and 53 minutes. Session, and it's in 3 clown house rooms across multiple platforms. And this is my morning podcast. It's called The El Normo Show. Okay, any other comments, questions, concerns, or ideas as we wind down this 2-hour podcast? 5 more minutes left in the session.
Yeah, this has been great, man. I'm glad I came in. That's for sure.
Sasha's just listening. Elia is here. Angie is here. Adisoji is here.
Where are they? Like, what other platform are you streaming this in from?
I have 2 other rooms going. One is called the Honey Badger Show and Podcast Movie, and the other one is called the El Normo Show Podcast Movie. And then
Yeah, I'm in the El Normo one.
I know there's 2 of those. Alan Watts has a room going as well.
Oh, okay. And who's this Honey Badger? Sounds pretty charismatic.
It's in the Lao Tzu room in Earth Moon House.
And is that your creation?
Yeah. Let me see.
Is that where you just feature the Honey Badger?
Let me see if I can find you, and I'll add you. Falcon or Orca. He's a falcon. Yeah. Yeah. I'm already friends with you, Honey Badger. You should see it in the hallway. Yeah, I talked to El Normo yesterday. He said he was flattered.
Oh, that's nice. Do you discourage him at all, or you just kind of?
No. I'm not. No, not even close. I'm praising him. I think he's like our Bill Murray of Clubhouse. Or I hope.
Okay, I got. Nice.
I don't know why, but I like I would say 95 out of 100 people, and I can't. He just rubs me the wrong way. Maybe through no fault of his own. I just find his delivery very abrasive. I don't know where that comes from.
I like your concept of 95 out of 100, but if you look at that, then you have 5 people that you don't like. So those 5 people is really the reason for your existence. So it's like a good man was made for a bad man. So you have to it always becomes a rectification of yourself. So you should really value those 5. The only problem is they waste your time. That has got to be the biggest complaint, is that you have to communicate with them. So it can provide like a spiritual awakening, to engage with somebody that you find so irascible or vulgar or annoying, or their delivery is distasteful. It's an aesthetic. It's your time too. So there's but that's the thing, is you're not recording this app. When you record people, it takes out a lot of the anger, because what you're really doing is recording them to try to create a record or to create a publishing. So you actually like the fact.
No, I get what you were saying. I listened closely. It's not for me. I've got too many other hobbies. It really isn't.
Yeah, but why would you listen to people on here then that you don't like? Why would you listen to the 5 percenters that you don't like?
If I was going, sorry, my phone's fucked up. If I was going to devote social media time, I would just I would start a whole TikTok channel or a YouTube or something interesting enough that I don't need to. And this isn't a slight on you, but I'm interesting enough that I don't really need other people to get attention.
I don't know if that really answered my question. Let me try to rephrase. I mean, do you believe that the now is all important?
This is one thing that I know intuitively for my whole life, and I got very confused when people would say, live in the now, don't live in the past or the future. I was like, am I doing something wrong? I'm not living in the past or the future. Mm-hmm. It's inconceivable to me because it wasn't part of my experience to ever live in the past or the future. Mm-hmm. So I don't understand the gravitas of living in the now just because that it's like a fish in the water. It's like, you know.
No, it's a tool. It's a tool.
The water.
Sasha, it's a tool for self-contemplation, for self-reflection, for processing, really. It's like dreaming while you're awake, meaning that you are essentially organizing now, because it's not about past or future. There is no past or future. It's about what are you doing now? Like, you're sitting here chatting with somebody named Wisdom in the El Normal podcast movie. The point is, are you meditating? Like, what are you actually doing that's beneficial for you right now by talking to me?
Oh, this is a very easy thing to multitask on. So
it's so easy to multitask while you're having a dynamic conversation that requires your full attention now?
Yeah, pretty much, because I'm driving. What else am I going to be doing? I'd rather have somebody else's mind to just masturbate with myself.
I know.
No, man.
The thing is, I didn't know you were in your car. I didn't know you were in your car.
Look, anytime I'm talking, I'm never in a static mode. I'm building.
I get it. Okay. Well,
with my kids, I'm cooking.
I get it. Okay. I get it. I get it. I get it.
Because it's boring if it's just the other stuff, you know.
I get it.
And that's not for everyone too, because some people aren't hyperactive.
No, you're in your car. There's nothing else you have to explain. You're in your car. I would do the same thing if I had Clubhouse on my phone. But the thing is, even in my car, I'd still be filming myself driving, talking on Clownhouse.
Yeah.
See, you kill 2 birds with 1 stone, but I'm trying to kill 3 birds with 1 stone.
That's good. You're a better killer than me. I used to play on Clubhouse in my basement on my computer, and I didn't record it like you, but I had fun with the soundboard that required a lot of attention and stuff, and made people laugh, and that's also a good service to entertain people. The Clubhouse is I don't know, it's like we compare things as people, right? So I don't enjoy this as much as the good old days, you know. So I come on here when I don't know, in little cycles now. I'll be gone for 6 months, and I'll come back for a week, and gone for 6 months. So different. If you can repost and do that, good for you. Not my cup of tea though. Not. I'd be entertained with others.
How do you think people perceive you, Sasha? Do you think you come off as being a highly annoying person, or being a slightly annoying person, or not being an annoying person at all? How do you view yourself on the annoying spectrum?
If people are going to be honest with themselves, I come off as annoying and difficult to tolerate at the beginning, and then everyone ends up liking me. after they get to know me, because I'm very hard to pin down as a character, but through enough iteration, they see that what lies underneath is actually good and wholesome, and caring, and you know, just kind of just wants to make a joke, and sometimes I'll make a foul of that, but that I've observed this. You guys are talking about Clubhouse being real. It's a big question. Builds off the question I went through years ago with my friend. I think it is. I think this. I think interacting on this is pretty much like 50% or more of just real life. You're right to point out that you miss to see if a person is infirmed or mentally retarded or something like that, fat, trodden upon, or has everything given to them. I don't think that amounts to much conversation, and a lot can be expressed over voice. So my experience in the real world, it just backs up my initial explanation that, yeah, annoying to start, kind of hard to tolerate, but then after that, very likable and magnetic.
So, any final comments, questions, thoughts, ideas, opinions?
Regarding what?
Anything you want to talk about on the El Normo podcast or the Honey Badger show?
No, that was great, man. I appreciate it, dude. Good engagement.
El Normo, yeah. I'm just you say the meaning is in the 5% of the people that I dislike, but I don't know, man. I don't know, like, what's it gonna teach me? Like more control? Like, maybe I don't need more control.
I would say, like, in the psychedelic state, it's a little bit like mirror work, where you see a picture of yourself that you don't like, and you're still having an opinion or judgment on that concept abstract image. And so it's still a you problem.
I listened to some YouTube last night, some Carl Jung, Nietzsche, shadow, that type of stuff. Integration. What's the little buzzword in there? I forget.
I think the problem is your brain projects so powerfully that you essentially are just overdoing it. And I think the big expression is stop thinking and your problems, meaning that your automatic opinion creation is part of the problem. If you could get a hold of that, you wouldn't have opinions about the 5%. You would really be in a flow state. It does come down to like a flow state statement.
But it just injures me personally to see people make such a blunder of themselves. So that's because what the fuck do I care about somebody else? But it turns out I care a lot, and to see bad ideas.
But the blunder, I'm recording blunders. I'm in the blunder recording business. And I want blunders. I need blunders. I enjoy blunders because the blunders are what dopamine activate the audience. So you're just like viewing this from an audience perspective, being picky choosy about aesthetic. But you have the 5% blunders are the gold. Like everything else is just average. So we need the blunders.
Yeah. Sure. We're coming at it from different perspectives. Mine's more self-serving. Yours is more like entertain people or something. Which I also, like I said, I like to entertain people as well. But it's different. But anyhow, I'll think about the 5%.
I don't know. Entertain is like entering the 10, meaning that it's a hypnosis, and so you're just upset about the hypnosis.
What are you, black with like the lies are kept in the library? Come on, man.
Don't you know the truth of the earth is in the math of the earth?
What? You know what to understand means? It means to stand under. How could you not
Don't you know that humble means to hum?
I don't know, man. You get like I get lost if I dissect all that shit. It doesn't make it more meaningful.
Don't you know that?
For me to know.
Don't you know that wisdom is the domination of the wise?
What? No, I didn't know that. I might be dumber for knowing it.
Don't you know that Sasha is technically Sas and Sha?
Chop.
Don't you know that park backwards is crap?
Parkour. You want to go to parkour? How many followers do you have on your platform you'd like to repost it to? And why don't you go on X, Twitter Spaces, X Spaces, and do this and get your content from there because there's just more, right? Or is Clubhouse enough?
It's just same but different. Clubhouse is like, because I built up these profiles, I have access to like a lot more content here than on X. The X stuff is great too, but I feel like I've gotten to know people here, so like the network here in my mind is probably stronger than on X. But the big thing on X is really Elon Musk. So last night when he was live, he had a subscribers only live room, which was pretty cool. But I don't have a premium account, so I couldn't record what he was saying, and I wish I was on top of it, and I would have done it, but I instead just decided to do nothing last night.
What happened to your admin profile? Did it get cut a long time ago?
Oh yeah, I've had like 20 accounts on Clubhouse.
It's surprising. I've never been clipped. I got a warning one time because I said I had kept the room open with some girl's name and called her a cunt, and that was like frozen for 3 days or something. But it's surprising how many people just get clipped. I think whatever people just the blacks get together and they mass report, and then it's like you're done, right? Is that how it works?
I want to say Adams and a couple other people have definitely,
Adams, that's the guy that sounds like a homosexual when he talks, and he's very he's very energetic and stuff.
Yeah, he caused me a lot of problems. He's gotten a lot of my shit deleted. Oh, here my CEO is here, Chicken Hillary. Welcome, Chicken Hillary.
Welcome, Director Kitover. How are you?
I am good. I'm talking with Sasha here in the El Normo podcast.
Well, I'm going to just give you the corporate update. I shared your engagement insight with one of your Ukraine one turned out to be born in Australia for fuck's sake, Joy. I love your title board, by the way. I tagged the Chicago Sun-Times. I'm doing everything I can to help.
Did you see Elon had a live last night and it was for private members only?
No.
You should have alerted me. I told you if you see him go live ever, alert me. And I told you to check every hour. You did not check and you did not alert me, so we missed it.
I fell asleep.
Well, you're a good for nothing CEO and you're fired.
Ron, I'm really sorry.
We missed it. That was going to be a big one, and it was private.
I know. I'm sorry. My recollection of yesterday is if you had a bunch of people that were screaming and I couldn't get a word in edgewise, and I kept trying to ask you questions. It's my fault, but I didn't get the message that I was supposed to check it every hour. I did not hear that. You very well said it. I didn't hear it.
Okay, so I've been going for 2 hours and 12 minutes. I'm getting ready to shut down my morning recording and podcast. Anything else? Final comments, questions, ideas, or opinions, Sasha or one?
No.
Nah, I'm good. I got stuff to do. Thanks, buddy.
Okay, this has been the El Normo Show podcast and the Honey Badger Show. Hope you've enjoyed it. Hillary, anything else you want to say?
Yes.
Okay, 20 seconds. Go ahead.
20 seconds, that's not enough time to do anything. Did you see Bridesmaids?
No, your seconds are winding